Hi, my name is Jeff Arcos. Today we are Friday, 25th of October 2013. I'm living in Australia, Queensland. I originally come from Ecuador, South America, and I'm a currency trader and as well mentor and educator. Today I will be displaying one of my best strategies as a free gift to all my friends who follow me and maybe visitors that we have around the world. Okay, let's start this one. And my name in Australia is called the Trade Whisperer, and this is what's my name. All right, we have 6 trading systems, and today we will show you actually the weekly trading system, which is the candle close strategy, and this is actually for beginners. Then I have the daily trading system, which is more advanced and need technical analysis, and then in the 4 hours I have a system that I call the 3T or the SHAMS. And then I have the 1 hour system, which is the STEM, and then I have the 5 minutes, which is the sculpt system, which is very nice too. Weekly candle close strategy. We'll leave 20% at the bottom, 20% at the top and the bottom, sorry. It's 100% mechanical, no stress, no emotions. It's trading for dummies actually. It's a weekly candle close, will become the best seller system in the planet. Applicable for all markets, stock, indexes, commodities, currency, you name it. Whatever your broker provides you, you can trade everything. It works as a filter, and as well is only 1 hour a day system, and that is beautiful. And we will see today how that works. Why the candle close? The candle close is a special indicator. The open of the candle of any time frame is made by the beginners. The close is made by the professionals. The candle close gives the direction of the future price movement. The candle close will give you the setup for possible traders. The candle close combined with everything else that I teach in the 2 days workshop is powerful. The candle close is used by professional traders. There it is. So my simple rules are very straightforward. I'm not into reading Japanese candle. I don't like the Japanese name they put in different candle. Are only interesting in the high and the low of the candles. That's all I'm looking. Then the midpoint, which is the range between this high and low, I'm looking for the midpoint, and then I am interested on the close. I'm not much interested on the open. The open can happen everywhere. All right, I only look two things. The midpoint relate to the high and the low of the and the close. If the close is about the midpoint, the next week I will be looking to go long. If the close is below to the midpoint, the next week I will be looking to go short and nothing more. Simple as that. So let's have a look with the examples there. So you can pause the video and review these testimonies I have of friends here in Australia. So I will not be reading, but everything is related of how much successful they are with this weekly strategy at the end of the day. All right. So let's getting into what it is. So there it is. A weekly candle close about the midpoint of the range of the candle. So do you see that vertical line is exactly the same vertical line? This is the 4 hours time frame. This is the weekly time frame. So once I have, Monday morning, came back, sit in my computer, I find my first #1 strategy to say the weekly is about the midpoint of the range of the candle. Therefore, I'm looking in the small time frame as setup. And then the market breaks, and there it is, 470 pips. The weekly is below to the midpoint of the range of the candle. I'm waiting for the setup, 240. The weekly close about the midpoint of the range of the candle. Again, I'm waiting for the setup, 330. The weekly close below to the midpoint of the range of the candle. Wait for a setup retracement, 350 pips. Weekly about the midpoint of the range of the candle. Again, the setup is really what it's all about. And 480 pips. The weekly candle close below to the midpoint of the range of the candle. There is the setup, and 280 pips. Weekly about the midpoint of the range of the candle. The setup, 160 pips. Weekly below to the midpoint of the range of the candle. Setup, 95 pips. Weekly above, 140 pips. Weekly below, 690 pips. Total on the Euro US from the 10th of February 2013, until now, you would have ended up with 3,235 pips. Let's see, only we get 75% because actually the trend lines is the one they execute at entries and at exits, and 70% only the runs. You would have ended up with 2,264 pips total. All right, so let's have a look now at the Pound Australia weekly, Pound Australia 4 hours. Below to the midpoint, and that is what it was running a few weeks ago. About the midpoint, 740. Below to the midpoint, 120. About to the midpoint, 400 pips. About to the midpoint, 330 pips. Below to the midpoint, 600 pips. About to the midpoint, 520. Below to the midpoint, 340. Below to the midpoint, and here it was no trade. Remember I said that this worked as a filter. So that is the filter here. So you were not in that trade, so that's good, isn't it? About the midpoint of the range of the candle, 150 pips. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, here we have the first entry, ended up in a loss, but the second entry at 1,200 pips. The pound along with this around 6th of January, you would have done with this system 4,300 pips. 70% of that move is only 3,000 pips, is still good enough. Now, what you see is a realistic back testing. Okay, it's nothing to do with you. I don't use any indicators whatsoever. This is a plain chart and only trend lines. Australia US, about the midpoint of the range of the candle, 330 pips. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, 110 pips. About the midpoint of the range of the candle, only 100 pips. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, 1,200 pips. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, and here was a loss, minus 50. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, another loss, 2 weeks in a row, losing. About to the midpoint of the range of the candle, and then we have 220 pips. Australia alone would have done 1,880 pips. 70% of this move would have done 1,316 pips total. US Swiss about, and that is running that few weeks ago. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, that is the setup, 400 pips. About the midpoint of the range of the candle, beautiful setup, 240 pips. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, 110 pips and come back. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, 300 pips and come back. About the midpoint of the range of the candle, 400 pips, and that is running. Below 540, about the midpoint 490, about the midpoint 160, below to the midpoint 90 pips, about the midpoint of the range of the candle 370 pips. The US Swiss, we would have done 3,175 pips. 70% of those moves, 2,222 pips were achievable. The US yen, and even when the market is like that, we are still having good success with this strategy. Remember, the only thing you look is on Monday what happened last week, where the candle has closed relate to the midpoint of the range of the candle. Below to the midpoint, 250 pips. About to the midpoint, 180. About to the midpoint, didn't go much here, actually was in a loss position. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, and that was minus 40. About to the midpoint of the range of the candle, 360. Below to the midpoint of the range of the candle, 830. About the midpoint, 460. About the midpoint, 320. The yen alone would have done 2,400 pips from the break to the highs, 70% because trend lines took us in and out. 1,680 pips would be total achievable. Canadian, the same thing. This is going up, so we're looking only for longs. Here is below to the midpoint, 200 pips. About the midpoint, 210 pips. This one we're looking below to the midpoint. So here with that is not trade, even if you were to enter in that with a small loss. About the midpoint, 80 pips and possible get a stop out. Below to the midpoint, 150 pips. About the midpoint, minus 30 the first trade, and then it went 120 pips. Below to the midpoint, 210. about the midpoint at 310, below to the midpoint 150, about the midpoint 150, below to the midpoint 190, about the midpoint 300 pips. The US Canadian alone would have performed 2160 pips, 70% of those run 1512. So total, just following this simple strategy, the weekly candle close, you ended up with 12,000 pips in 9 months. Let's see, we take 2004 pips because of stop losses, because something happened through it. You did not get the top, you did not get the bottoms. So 10,000 pips in 9 months. And now I want to remind you that we only calculate this one entry per trend. All right, so one entry per trend, and that's all it is. So these 10,000 pips could be much higher. Now, if you want to know more about, please visit our websites. We have globalprime.com.au is our broker website. mararesearch.com.au is our educational website. majestic.com.au is a tool website. So we provide not only the broker platform, but we provide the education and the tools to help you to succeed. This is we are in Australia, based in Robina, Gold Coast. This is the local number there. You're free to call from any time. David Gray or Todd Lee will be happy to assist you with any question that you have. Now let me show you the website. So this is my website. That's me there. And the first thing I can introduce you is the webinars that we have. Every fortnight I have 6 to 7 p.m. On Mondays I have the webinar. The next one is coming is on the 28th of October. So if you're interested to know more, actually in my webinars I display not only currencies, but I display commodities, indexes with the same strategy, and as well stocks. So if you're interested to know more about that, please feel free to come and sign and the intro webinar. As well, every Tuesday we have a live weekly webinars about Majestic with Todd Lee, who does research the fundamentals, how the currencies are going, plus it shows how this tool works for us. Here, this is when you click on the registration, here you find the online free intro webinars that we held, and you just register for the Tuesday every week and fortnightly on my online webinar nighttime. And this is my workshops, which the next one is coming on the 1st of November 2013. It's 2 days workshop, and that is the address of the office where we are. We are, you know, we are not, we are real company, real people. When you call us, you will not have an answer machine there, but it will be real people there. So, and that is the 1st and the 2nd of November. This is our next workshop. If you're interested, call to the office, talk to them, and find out more about. And this is Majestic, which is I explain you more in my intro webinars about what Majestic is, a semi-automatic trading tool that I'm using for entry and exit my positions. I'm not looking my trades. Majestic, which works in conjunction with the trend lines, actually execute those trades for me. So that's you know, we live in a 21st century technology, so we gotta use it. I don't like full expert advices. I like this one because it's a semi-automatic trend expert advisor. I decide where the trend lines go. I just right click it, put the properties, and then let Majestic take the rest. And yeah, so that's, please thank you for your time, and I hope so you're enjoying this strategy. I have a lot of good feedback from people. Hope to see you in my intro webinars, especially the Monday that is coming soon. Thank you very much. God bless you. Cheers and bye.